I don't know about you, but I'd like to do a call for help. You in the mood?
Let's do it.
All right,
yeah.
Here we go. Let's go to Fort Wayne, Indiana. It's right across the Ohio border from Ohio.
That makes sense.
Am I wrong, Bishop? Am I wrong?
Nope, not at all. It's about a half hour away.
Yep, right across the Ohio border from Ohio. Okay. What can we do for you?
Well, I appreciate you guys taking my call. I'm a big fan. So I got a question about protecting my kids online. I'm looking for some sort of device or something that will protect them on Windows and iOS because my oldest is in 2nd grade, so she's starting to get on the computer more and use it. So I'm looking for something that will do the content filtering, can set time restrictions, and just in general protect them. So I was looking at Circle from Disney and was pretty intrigued by that, but I thought I'd ask you guys first and see if that's a good product or if there's something else you'd recommend before making any purchases.
Well, you know,
do you do anything?
Okay, well, actually, I suppose I should ask you how old your children are, because I think that actually kind of determines,
one's
right?
2.
One is 2.
How old are the other ones? I'm sorry, 5 and 1-year-old?
5-year-old and a 7.
5-year-old, 7-year-old.
5-year-old, 7.
Even a 1-year-old is going to be exposed to the internet, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the amazing thing, especially with older siblings.
I mean, in our house, I have a 6-year-old. She just turned 6, and I have a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
And really, their time on any device is pretty darn limited. And
but you're able to do that still because they're young enough.
Yes, exactly. I think that dynamic changes as they get older, and they have a little bit more opinion and sway in the decision. So I think, yes, having a hardware solution, like anything that I was looking into, wasn't hardware. There's like Custodio, which is like a cross-platform kind of app, family management system, for different platforms. But you were saying before the show that you're not a fan of that type of thing.
I completely look. First of all, it's tough enough being a parent. Anything that helps you, I'm for. I am not going to say to any parent, don't do this. I want to underscore that there's no substitute for parental engagement. Not only supervision, but engagement, talking. And as your kids get older, it's going to be more and more important you talk to them. Because the truth is, with mobile devices and friends, you can't keep them completely safe. They need to have some skills and some understanding and the desire to talk to you about stuff they see, because they're going to have smartphones, their friends are going to have tablets, you're going to go to your friend's house. There's always the opportunity to get exposed to all sorts of horrendous stuff on the internet. So no matter what you do at home, you still have to become engaged with them and talk with them about it. It's really hard for parents who are not tech literate. You obviously are, Bishop, so you have an advantage. We did review the Circle. Megan Maroney reviewed it for Before You Buy. It didn't work with her router at all. However, she was able to get it working somewhere else. Like, would she do it here? And she says it does do the job. It's affordable at $99. It is a piece of hardware, and I think hardware is a good.
I'm a mom, and
yeah, there's the video for it. Hardware is a good idea because as the kids get older, any software you put on the computer is going to be easy enough for them to get around.
Kids are smart.
I think there's a whole website, it used to be called peacefire.org, dedicated to helping kids get around the software their parents put on their computer.
I didn't know this.
Yeah. And kids share the techniques and so forth. So software is not going to be a very effective solution. It also has, unfortunately, lots of false negatives. It'll limit what kids can do. When kids are really young, I like the idea of whitelisting, not blacklisting. So there's a lot to talk about here, so I'll try to divide it into chunks. First of all, hardware or software, there's 2 techniques you can use. One is to say, we're going to keep these kinds of sites off. And those don't work very well. That's called blacklisting. They don't work very well because sites are moving around all the time. Stuff's going to leak through, and worse stuff that, maybe not worse, but another problem is that stuff that you don't want the kids, that you do want the kids to see, they won't be able to get to. Whitelisting for little kids is a great idea, saying they can only go to these 10 sites. You can even do it with email. They can only get email from Grandma, Grandpa, me, and Cousin Ralph. And so that's whitelisting, which says this is the kind of thing they can do. But that only works when they're really little. And they're small enough that you could say, well, I know these 5 sites will satisfy.
Right.
Circle is a blacklist device, but it does have the advantage of setting limits on screen time and setting a bedtime, and it is per device. That's the other advantage that you have with hardware, is you can associate these controls with individual MAC addresses, which means you can say, okay, this one, I did this to my kids at 10 p.m. Their computers, not mine, because I'm going to still be online, but their computers would get disconnected from the internet. Now, I did that with Apple router hardware. So a lot of routers will do this as well.
Many parents will just unplug their Wi-Fi router altogether.
You can do that.
Like,
Actually,
look.
the routers have an access control list. You can say at 10 p.m. these 4 MAC addresses no longer have access to the internet. That's another way to do it. The other thing we use and still use, which is great, is called OpenDNS. And Cisco just bought them, OpenDNS.com. This would require you modifying your router to use their DNS instead of your ISP's DNS. Now, if you understood what I just said, then you're a prime candidate for this. If you don't, then maybe this isn't the best solution for you. And then you see you can choose filtering levels. This is blacklisting, although they do have whitelisting. You see you can always add individual domains using whitelisting here. I think this is nice. Also, you may like it because it gives you security protection as well against phishing and malware. In other words, in effect, it is a filter on all your internet access. And
there's going to be false positives, though, still, right?
There still are. There's
no real
you can't get around that, unfortunately.
Way around that.
There also are some other nice features to this, including access control, timers, and logs. You know, logs will be very valuable for you because if your kids are seeing something you don't want them to see, you want to know it.
Yep.
And you want to be able to broach the conversation with them and say, hey, you know, you might have seen something that upset you. I'd like to talk about it. You're going to have, I hate to tell you this, but both of you are going to have that conversation sometime in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's important to get ready for that. There are places online like missingkids.org. Our friend Larry Magid has an internet contract.
Safe Kids.
Safe Kids, that's it.
Yeah.
He works with the Center for Exploited and Missing Children, but safekids.org,
I believe, yep.
is that right?
Safekids.org.
He has a contract on there that is this it? I don't know if this is it. Anyway, if you Google Larry Magid and Safe Kids, we'll find it. But that contract is very useful.
Safekids.com.
There we go. As they get older, you want to be explicit about what's acceptable use and what's not acceptable use. In the long run, you're not going to, this is actually a very useful site. In the long run, you're not going to win if you try a war and say, I am going to keep you locked down. You're going to lose that war.
Eventually you will.
You need to work with them together. Right now you can win because they're 5 and 7.
Right. I know. I'm not looking forward to this, Leo.
I have 24 and 21-year-olds. You'll lose eventually. So it's important that you have a good relationship with them and that they can talk to them and all that stuff. Yeah. But yes, Circle works. If it works. If it doesn't, if for some reason we don't know why it didn't work with Megan's router. I think she has an Apple router. So I would read reviews on Amazon and stuff. I didn't play with it, but she did, and she thought it worked okay. You can see her review. We have it on the Before You Buy channel. And then I would absolutely look at OpenDNS. I've been a big fan of them. I don't like on-computer software solutions. I think that's always a bad idea. Anything else? Is that kind of cover it for you? Is there more you'd like to know?
That was it. I did hear a guy, one of your previous calls for help, talked about having separate Wi-Fis, and I really like that idea of maybe, I was trying to figure out how to do it with OpenDNS where I could have an adult and the kids, where the kids are on the OpenDNS and the adults are on open. So
you can certainly do that.
In fact,
we just covered that on Security Now. There's more than one reason to do that. Steve Gibson has an article on his website, grc.com, under research on having a 3-router solution. That because your Internet of Things devices should be on an isolated network, your kids should be on an isolated network. It's a complicated thing, but that's another way to do it. Or go out and get a very fancy, make your own, get pfSense or some fancy software, or build your own computer that's dedicated to this, and then you have lots of control. The software on your router should be able to do all of this, and on many routers it can, but it requires a little bit of messing around with it.
Echo in the chat room brings up a very good point along these lines too. Like Wi-Fi is everywhere, so it's not just your Wi-Fi that you have to deal with.
They can join the neighbor's Wi-Fi. Exactly. Then what are you going to do? Right?
What do you do then? Yeah.
It really becomes challenging. That's why there's no substitution for your engagement with your kids. You can't just set it and forget it. It's a great subject.
Thank you so much for
Hey, I'm so glad you watched, Bishop. It's great to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah, wave across the border to the folks over in Ohio.
Hi, Ohio.
I don't know why I said that. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you, Bishop.
Thank you, guys.